Okay, peeps, we are on Excel Chapter 9. We're doing mid-level 1. This one's called Expenses. So the context for this exercise is that we've tracked our income and expenses over a 3-month period. Every sheet in here, so April, May, June, is formatted the same. And then we've got a quarter two, which is essentially a total or summary sheet, if you want to call it that. And then each month we're calculating the difference between our income and our expenses to see how much we're saving for our vacation in June, which these people don't know yet. It's canceled because you can't travel anymore. So we're going to experiment a lot with grouping worksheets and doing multiple things on separate worksheets, doing it once rather than having to do it 3 separate times. So I've got step 1 done because I've got the sheet open. Step number 2, we want to enter a title and apply a cell style to 3 worksheets at the same time. So to do this, so the 3 sheets we're going to do it is April, May, June. So the first thing we need to do is group all of April, May, and June. So I'm going to do it by, so I've got April selected already. I'm going to hold down Control and hit May and June. So now whatever I do in April right now will happen in the other 2 sheets at the same time. So we're going to type in a heading into cell 1 that says savings, income, and expenses. Okay, so when I type that in here, it's done that on all the sheets. Then we're going to select the range A1 to C1 and apply a heading 1 cell style. So cell styles, as we remember, are here on the Home tab. We want heading 1, which lives here. There we go. That's it for step 2. With the worksheets grouped, okay, so don't ungroup in between these steps. We want to calculate the ending savings balance. So in C6, so that's this guy, add the beginning savings balance to the monthly savings added. Okay, well, let's just do a little plus addition there. Okay, we get $400 in that one. We're done. Step 3. Step 4, with the worksheets grouped, you want to unlock a range so that it can be edited. Okay, so this worksheet has some protection in it already, so we need to unlock it. So we need to unlock cell C9, so that's this one, and the range B12 to 20. Okay, so so I'm holding down Control B12 to 20. All right. So to unlock, you go to the Format button on your Home tab and hit the Lock Cell button here. So you can see that it's the little lock is grayed out. That means it's engaged, so we need to click it again to turn it off, and you can see now it's turned off. Okay, so that's it for step 4. Step 5. 3 worksheets should have 3D references to other worksheets. All right, so we'll talk about a 3D reference in a second. So the first thing we want to do is display the May worksheet. So I'm going to click on May, and what we need to do, so even though I clicked on May, all my stuff is still selected. I need to ungroup here because I'm trying to do changes just to 1 worksheet at a time. So I can Control click to unselect the ones that I had selected, or one of the other tricks is you just click on one of the ones that's not part of the group and switch back. Both work. Okay. So in the May worksheet, in cell C4, so that's this guy, beginning savings balance, we want to create a 3D reference to a cell C6, which is the ending balance from April. So basically we're taking the ending balance from the previous month, pulling it through as the beginning for the next month. So a 3D reference is very easy here. So you just hit equals, click on the tab where you want to pull your number from, and then find the cell. So it's C6, so it says 400, and I can just hit enter. And if you look at our cell reference, so instead of C6, it shows April because that's the tab that it came from. Perfect. So we're good with the first one. The next one we have to do the same in June. So we need to take our beginning balance equals, go back to the May sheet and pick C6, hit enter, and you'll see that our cell reference has May in it. And then lastly, we're going to go to the Q2 worksheet, which we haven't done anything yet. And we're going to go to C4, that's here, and then do the same, but pick up from the June sheet. There we go, $600. So that's it for step 5. Next thing we're going to do is build functions with 3D references to sum data from all 3 months on the Q2 worksheet. So this is where things get a little bit more tricky, but it's not that bad. So with the Q2 sheet active, okay, we've done that. Click on C9, so that would be this one. Insert the sum function with a 3D reference to the total salary amounts for all 3 months. Copy the function in cell C9 to cell 21. And okay, so let's just worry about what we're doing here. So sum, got to get our sum. So we got our sum formula, and now we're going to basically pull all the salary numbers from April to June without having to click through and doing plus, 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 plus. So let's go and click on April, May, May and June. So I had to hold shift to highlight everything. And I'm going to click here. And you can see what it's done here in my formula bar. So I have sum April to June, aka April to June sheets, everything in between. So it includes May, C9. So we're adding up all the C9s from all 3 of those sheets. I'll close my parentheses and hit enter. And we got 7,200. I know that that's the right number, so I'm happy with that. The next thing we need to do is copy the function in C9, so the one we just did, to C21 to 23. Now I think this is a little bit of an error because we want it to be in this column. So it should be B, not C. So it should be B21 to B23, I believe, or I'm just making things up. Yes, I'm making things up. It should be C. Sorry for confusing it, because we're doing the totals here. So we'll copy this formula. So I'll just copy it and go find, so this is this guy, and we can do paste special and do our formula. So that's this FX one, or you can go paste special and choose formulas. We've got that. And then we can do the same again there. So that's summing the C21 from every sheet April to June. Okay, so we did it quickly because we could just use the same formula and the cell references moved for us when we pasted our formula. So that's good news. That's it for step 6. Step 7, we want to do a sum function again, and now we're doing it in B12. So we're trying to do the sums for all of these expenses here. So we're going to do it the same way. We're going to go equals sum. Then we're going to click on April and hit shift so we can highlight all these ones and pull the rent number because that's the top one. We'll hit enter. And then we just need to fill that function to 13 to 20. So that's all the way down here. So we'll do that. Okay. So that process was just the same as what we did in step 6. So that's it for step 7. The next thing we need to do is ensure consistency among our worksheets. So we're going to group our worksheets and apply a formatting to each one. So we're going to display April and then group all our worksheets. So I'm going to hold down shift and then click the last one, which highlights everything in between. So we're going to select the range A8. That's A8 here, down to C23, which is down here. And fill formats across our worksheets. So that includes fonts, indents, number formatting. And so how you do this is if you're on the Home tab, go to the Format tab here, or pardon me, fill up here, and you get this option that says across worksheets. So we're going to click on that. So we're going to fill across worksheets. And we don't want to fill everything or contents, but we just want our number formats and our indents and all that stuff to move across. So I'm going to hit OK. And that process will have worked. So now we're supposed to ungroup the worksheet. So I can just click away somewhere and it goes. So we can see our number formats, everything look the same now on all our sheets when we didn't have formats before. Perfect. So that's step 8 done. Over the page. Now we're going to get into something that's not too bad, hyperlinking. So in the Q2 worksheet, which is where I am now, we have cells containing April, May, and June text. So that's right there. We're going to insert hyperlinks to the respective worksheet data. Okay, so in cell E2 containing April, all right, April, insert a hyperlink. All right, so I'll do the first part first. So to get inserted hyperlink, you go to Insert, and then you got Link over here near the right-hand side. So we're trying to, so what you do in here depends on where you're linking to. So we're told, insert a hyperlink to cell C23 in the April worksheet. Okay, so down in this left-hand bar, you get different areas, so email or whatever, but we want place in this document because we're going to a different tab here. So you can see here's all our sheets. Here's the cell reference that you want it to go to, and so we can do our work within here. So we want it to go to the April worksheet, so I'm going to highlight April, and we want it to go to C23, so I'm going to type in C23 there. We're also told to include a screen tip with the text April balance. So if you want to include a screen tip, so when you mouse over this link, it'll tell you what it's going to do. Hit this screen tip button up here. So the screen tip needs to say April balance. Okay. When you've done that, you can hit OK and hit OK again. And you'll notice that our April turned into a link and it has our little screen tip there. We're good. So now we just have to do that process for the next two. So insert link, place in this document May, C23, and then screen tip is May balance. And then lastly, do the same thing for June. Insert link, June tab, C23, screen tip, June balance. Hit OK. All right. And then it says click each cell to test the hyperlinks and correct any errors. Okay, well, let's see if we messed up. So click on April. All right, brought us to April, C23, which is the ending balance, basically the difference between salary and expenses. Let's test May. That seemed to work too. And then lastly, June. Looks good. All right, we're done with step 9. Step 10, use the data in the 4 worksheets to enter data in the range of E7 to 12 in the analysis section and provide either a text or number that relates to the labels in the range F7 to F12. Okay, so this is just answering questions. We're just typing stuff in. So let's find the month with the highest positive difference in cell C23. All right, well, we've got 113 in April, 158 in May, and this is negative. So we know that May must be correct because that is the highest positive. Month with the highest negative difference, well, based on what we just saw, there's only one month with a negative, and that was June. The difference after 3 months in cell C23 of Q2, okay, that's down here, that's $9.97. Okay. First highest total expense category in Q2. Well, let's see. First highest in Q2. Well, rent is $3,300. So rent. Second highest I can see here is groceries. And the number of expense categories identical in each month. Okay, well, this is kind of annoying, but let's go figure it out. So here, rent is 1100, 1100, 1100. So there's one. Utilities 127, now 115. Okay, so that's not going to be one. Savings is 100, 100, 100. That's two. Cell phone 5222, 5522, 5522. That's three. Groceries changes. Car payment does not. That's three. Auto expense changes. Entertainment changes. And miscellaneous is 195. Okay, so that changes. So I got four. All right. I don't know why they made us do that, but they did. So that's it for step 10. So now we're going on to step 11, where we get into data validation, something that I like to use in my work often. So display the April worksheet, okay, and create a data validation rule in cell B20. All right, so let's find B20. So that's this one. That's miscellaneous. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is actually get into the data validation menu. So to get there, we go to data, and you'll see in the data tools area, there's this one with a check mark and a little like no-go thing. So just click on the main part of that button. So now we're in the data validation menu. And basically what this menu does is you can set controls for what you are or are not allowed to write in a certain cell. So we want to allow decimal values that are less than or equal to $100 only. So right now it's set to any value, which is the default for any cell in Excel. So we want to pick a decimal, and then we get our criteria. So we can choose less than or equal to is what we want, and it's supposed to be less than or equal to 100. Okay, so we're done the first part. Next thing, if you move to the next tab, is the input message. So this is the message that you'll see if you're trying to write stuff in this cell. So we want to create the input message title miscellaneous expense, right? And then our actual input message is supposed to say the maximum miscellaneous expense is $100 and include the period. Okay. So that's good for the input message. Now, if someone tries to put in something that is greater than $100 or type in words or something that's not allowed, we can create an error message. And we're going to do that here in the error alert tab. So we want stop style, which is already included, but there's other warnings or information you can choose. And then our error title should be invalid data. And the message should say, needs to say, you must enter a value less than or equal to $100 and include the period. Okay, so we're done everything in this menu. We've got our settings, input, and error. So I'll hit OK. And so what we need to do is we're trying to test it. So we'll try and enter $500 into this box. All right, here's our error. That's the title we put in. Here's our message. So you can do retry, and it lets you retype your thing. Or you can hit cancel, help, whatever. If you hit cancel, it just goes back to whatever the cell was before you tried to mess with it. Okay, so that's it for step 11. Step 12, party time. Got to get that footer for all our worksheets. So I'm going to shift click to highlight everything, page layout. I don't even need to show you guys this anymore. Name, whoop. Sheet code file name, boom, boom. So that's it for 12. All right. The step 13 is we're going to protect our worksheets. So protect all 4 worksheets without a password to enforce the locked cells. So to do that, you go to the Home tab and Format. So I don't think we can do this with all of them selected at the same time. I think we have to do it individually. And you can see here, if I try and do protect sheet while I have all my tabs selected, it's a no-go. So I'll just do one at a time. April, home tab, format, protect sheet. It says without password. And so we'll just leave the default selected here. Hit OK. May, format, protect. Defaults are good, so OK. June. And then Q2. All right, so we're done with that. So that's it for step 13. Step 14, we want to indicate that we finalized our workbook, so we're done with it. So we're going to mark it as final. However, there is a note here for Mac users. So mark as final is not available for you, but in the Mac, you can use always open read only on the review tab. So go to the review tab and find your item here. It might be in protect and share for workbook. I'm not exactly sure because I don't have a Mac. So for us in our Windows environment, we'll go to File. You're on the Info tab, and you'll go to Protect Workbook. And if you go to the bottom, you will mark it as final. All right, so marked as final and then saved. Cool, hit OK. And marked as final saying editing is complete, blah, 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 blah. Cool, hit OK. And you can see the editing stuff went away, and you have to, if you want to change stuff like type in numbers, it won't let you. Cool, so that's it for step 14. Step 15 is to save and close. It won't actually let you save because we marked it as final, so you can just close your worksheet. We are done.